Hello, guys. It's been close to a week, and the new AC/DC album is killer. I've heard on YouTube and everything they're saying it's the best album in 30 years. Mm-mm. Best album in 40 years. But I have to admit, the Razor's Edge is a lot better than the Black album from Metallica. My brother threw away the Black album from Metallica, so that's one good thing for that album, but there's only three good songs. But what's so funny is the Black album had four good songs for Metallica, but it was a lot better than the Metallica album. We didn't listen to that fucking album until years later when we had no fucking Metallica to technically listen to until 2003's Saint Anger. Load, Reload, and Garbage Inc. No. AC/DC has, I've heard the hashtag, have saved 2020. No. AC/DC has just ended the greatest decade in rock and metal history. The return of the 80s bands that's started from Iron Maiden's Final Frontier to AC/DC's Power Up. I'll name some of the albums if I can, at least most of them. We got, as I said, Final Frontier from Iron Maiden. We have during that time, let's say another because we had nothing for a couple of years. Let's say the Judas Priest, Redeemer of Souls, AC/DC's Rock or Bust, and Iron Maiden's Book of Souls. We got two Motorhead's albums too, from 2003, 13, and 15. We also had Slayer did the one last album plus their live album. Iron Maiden did the live video album off of the Final Frontier. Judas Priest also did the Black Cry Battle Cry live album. And then we have the let's see, we have Halloween came back, did a tour, started rocking, and the live album came in 2019. We also have Metallica, Hardwired to Self-Destruct, great album. We also have Marilyn Manson this year, Ozzy this year. I'll even put Green Day on that too, because that's like punk rock, but still rock and roll, man. We also have a couple more albums from Tankard. Testament came out with the album. Let's not forget Exodus, Blood In, Blood Out. I met them in 2015 again. Creator came out with a new album, God of Violence. The list goes on, man. I'm serious. The 80s bands have returned to the forefront. Don't mind all the pop, rap, and country that won all the fucking awards. Hey, Iron Maiden won the fucking Grammy for El Dorado in 2010. Judas Priest came out with Firepower in 2018, the greatest album since Painkiller. In my opinion, at least in most people's opinion. Because my brother did like the last two songs, but he grew on me. His favorite song off the album was Necromancer. My favorite song of that album is Guardians and Rising from Ruins, and then there's they go Spectre, Traitor's Gate, No Surrender. My goodness, that's balls out good. Then Lightning Strike, which is the radio friendly, you could say, the radio play song. Then Firepower. The only really fucking song in that album must be Lone Wolf, and even that is better than Shit Terror. And I do say shit Terror because I hate Pantera. Oh, I forgot about Five Finger Death Punch came out with two albums too. Also, I believe no, not, I'm talking to 80s band. I can't. Ooh, I wish I could because Fear Factory was my godsend to my brother during his later years in life. We lost some. We also had Eagles returned. Did a farewell tour. Then they did. Their member died and got a new live album out. Did last year. We have Metallica came out with the Number two, Orchestra last year. Right now, Iron Maiden in a couple days will come out with a Legacy of the Beast. It's my, and my brother's always got mad. Why didn't they just do their fucking greatest hits? Well, how do you? I tell them, what do you think? They're the best live band in history. Yeah, and you buy them every single fucking time they show up live. People, the best live, I repeat, the best live metal album in history is Live After Death. If you don't like it, you don't believe that, then you fucking suck. That was the greatest live concert, which stretched across 2 fucking days, you idiots, and you don't know your history of Iron Maiden. Bruce Dickinson. That's the greatest live album of history of metal. Number two is the Judas Priest album, but that's my personal opinion because my dad always fucking played it all the goddamn time. In fact, when he died, it was in his fucking CD player in his Saturn. My brother calls me up, Alex, do you guess what's in the CD player? And the first, I know what it is, Max. You don't tell me. It's the live album from Judas Priest. You know, crush it. Take it the fuck out, I said. Why? Do it. Okay, it's out. Look under it. What the fuck? It was scratched to hell. And it still played. He called me back after the album was done. It fucking still plays! He rolled that album every chance out. My dad did. And my brother's best band, favorite band. And he died this year. I think Neil Peart's death broke his heart and he died. Well, I hope that's not true. But he was doing bad this year. He was losing weight. He was not in the last 3 months. Even if he did survive 2-1, he would die because of the virus. But he was on a catheter. He was in hospice care, so he cried when I told him Neil Peart died. I wanted to break it to him gently, so I texted him. I ran it today. I knew he would look at his phone because he didn't know how, especially with his wild hand. So I called him. Luckily, the nurse picked it up and held it to him. And we did FaceTime like this, and he cried for 5 minutes, and I said, I'll call you back in a couple hours. I called him the next day, and a few days later, he died. I think. No, Neil Peart died in December 2019. Anyway. Yeah, Ozzy. Those are the 80s. I mean, the 80s bands are by far have returned to the forefront. The godfather of metal, the gods of metal are back. The great grandfather of metal is fucking back. Ozzy. Elton John did a fucking album this last decade too. I know he's retired to take care of his children, but that's his own personal business. And I did like that movie, The Rocket Man. Queen has come up with new material. They're still fucking touring. What's his name from American American Idol? All the 80s bands have returned. They've done live shows. We lost all Motorhead. We lost Slayer, retired. We lost Eddie Van Halen this year. Neil Peart, the drummer from the Ozzy record Blizzard. And probably more than I can't remember right now. I'm telling you, Bruce Dickinson, Halford, take care of yourself. We almost lost both of you. I'm grateful, Brucey, you got your fucking hair back to almost down your shoulders again. I know you can't do it down to your shoulders again, but let's hope you still try to. I like that unboxing you did. I just watched it today. Man, it's kind of sad. I lost all my brother's cassettes, metal, vinyl, everything. His Hot Wheels. Man, I spent over $2,000 on all those Hot Wheels. Well, at least I helped pay for most of the ones that were 30 to 40 bucks a piece at that fucking store. All his personal items is gone because he gave them to this Mr. Asshole. I won't repeat his name, but he is a good friend. At least he was there for him. But all his true friends that had come up to me when I was still in Arizona said, "We'll never forgive him for giving up." And my brother did give up. But he would never, he would love this last decade. He loved this decade. I remember getting Redeemer of Souls for the first time in my fucking hand and put it in the PlayStation 3 and playing it. Next thing I know, he's, "What do you listen to?" "Oh, it's at the very end. It's the last song. All the rest songs were heavy, but this is the last one on the first disc." Okay, he goes back in, and then he takes a quick shot. This is the quickest shot that he ever took. Play it. Okay, I'm gonna play it, but I'm gonna play this one song first, and then just to tease you. It was the song, number 3 song. After that played, we did the whole album, and man, it was good. Now, people, I've seen on YouTube people are trying to go through the entire catalog of AC/DC. God bless. I've been trying to myself, at least the ones I love. Fly on the Wall, Flick of the Switch, my brother's favorite. I've listened to the Black Album so many times. It's sick now. I've been trying to listen to the AC/DC Collection Live album, River Plate, also Jailbreak EP. Also, don't forget the Who Made Who album that was just a collection for a Stephen King movie. Stephen King talked him into doing an album, and they did one song, but they released all the material. But it's a good album, man. It's Who Made Who. Then they did again for Iron Man 2, and they released some one song that Bon Scott we've never heard of until that time, unless you got that box set, Cold Hearted Man. So I'm gonna stop talking for right now. I'm gonna let you simmer on this. Um, the world simmer that AC/DC has ended this decade for the 80s bands. And I wish we can do an 80s fucking Woodstock for all rock and roll people. I mean, could you imagine all the 80s bands coming together doing their favorite songs, doing each other's favorite songs, and whoever's, and here's the kicker though, we'll do like a mass thing. Who the people the who's ever on the piano or keyboard has to wear the mask like a gig, like a anything, and we have to, and we'll have to decide at the end who it is, and who it is. They're already on stage sometimes, but you won't know. It would be so funny if it would be the only two I can think of is 3: Ozzy, Billy Joe, and Elton John. Because that's the only thing I can do. A 3 rotation of that. That could be funny. But Woodstock, 3 days. We need a place to hold a big place over 1,000 people, but we have to do it not like Woodstock. And oh my goodness, that was a bad thing. But we have it on like a weekend, a 4-day weekend. Like they start around 4 o'clock in the afternoon and go until 3 o'clock in the morning, and come back around 4. But we have to do it with hotels, mobile homes, everything, and make sure you have porta potties and free fucking water. Now that's just my hoping, but I wish we could do that. Bye.